Hi, this is Pearl and welcome to my channel. Today I have a process video using the Felicity Jane Rebecca kit. This is a picture of me with my kids on my birthday. So this is a birthday layout. The picture didn't come out very good because it was dark when we took this picture, so I went ahead and converted it to black and white. I knew I wanted to put that wood grain cardstock on the left hand side of the picture. On the layout. So now I'm going through the 3x4 cards to see if I'm going to use any of those cards, and I decide I'm not going to do that. So I took that little scrap of paper to decide which watercolor paint I wanted to use, because I haven't used watercolor paint in my layout for a really long time. So I ended up picking the Prima Shimmering Lights watercolor, and the color that I ended up using is called Disco. And that disco color matches the burnt orange red color in the kit really well. So I'm just going back and forth with the watercolor. I'm not being focused about how I want to do it. I just know I just want a slab of color there. So I go back and forth. That watercolor brush is from Michael's. I think it came in a 3-pack or something like that. So once I just squibble squabble, as my kids would say, I let that dry, and while I'm letting that dry, I have the number 4 and 8 from a Studio Calico kit a long time ago. I've just had these numbers for a really long time, and I'm using Liquitex acrylic paint in white just to paint that into a white color. Now that my watercolor is dry, I go ahead and adhere the wood grain cardstock to the left hand side of my layout. After I adhere that, then I go and get my picture, and I know I want to back it with something from the kit. So I go through my papers to try to decide which cardstock I'm going to use, and I end up using the solid cardstock. And so I adhere that to I adhere the picture to that cardstock, and then I go ahead and cut it out with a tiny border around it. You don't see my paper cutter, but I use a Caterpillar Pro, which I love. Now I'm adhering this down onto the layout, and then I realize that's not what I really want to do, because I want to layer it up. So I take it off. Thank goodness for repositionable tape. I took it off the layout, and now I'm just going and layering it up. This is the problem with the first layout, because I have to cut into the beautiful 12x12 paper, which I have a hard time doing. But I go ahead, I also had the 6x6 papers from this kit as well. So I use that as one of my layering pieces. Once I do all of that, I took the, what is that called? A strip from one of the 12x12 papers with the hearts on it, and I adhere that to the bottom of my layout. I'm okay with all of the heart not showing. It's going to show on the right hand bottom corner of my layout, and that's fine with me. Now I'm measuring it again on the layout to see if there's anything else that I want to add to this, or any more borders. So I'm taking another border. This is like an olive green or dark green, hunter green kind of border from one of the cardstocks, and I put that onto the right hand side of my page. There's a little gap on the top right hand corner where between this green and white striped and the left hand border. Do you see that right there? So I take one of the cheetah prints, and I'm going to go ahead and put that right there so that there isn't an open gap. I'm okay with things sticking out, but I'm not okay with a divot going in, if that makes sense. Okay, so I finally decide to lay down this the picture with all the different layers on it. I'm going through the embellishments, and I'm going to try to figure out which embellishments I'm going to use. I use the puffy sticker Happy that comes in that gold, and I think I'm gonna put it on the right hand, the top left hand side, but I haven't stuck it down because I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm going through all the different embellishments, trying to decide which am I gonna use. I like those paint swatches, so I put those on the off to the side by itself, so I remember to use those as well. I'm going to use one of the label stickers and I'm going to put the date on there. You can see I'm trying to think about what I should be doing. I'm so indecisive. It's kind of funny that this takes me so long to do. But I'm going through more cardstocks now. And I can't remember what I was trying to do. Oh, that's right. I took another border from a cardstock and I'm going to put that between the wood grain and the white, painted white cardstock. So I go back and adhere that again. Thank goodness for repositionable tape. Now I'm going to put the embellishments back and try to see where I'm going to put them. But before I do that, I'm going to put foam stickers just to pop up the corners. I just put them willy-nilly. There isn't a rhyme or reason to it. I just like some dimension on my page. So I go ahead and do that. I know I want a date stamp and use some of these hearts because I do love my kids. I'm trying to decide how I'm going to add more embellishments to this page, especially the flowers. I do love having flowers on 3 portions of my layout, and I want to do more of a diagonal from left top to bottom right design. So I put some flowers and other embellishments, some of the leaves and stuff, and I also then remember that we have vellum hearts that came with this kit. So I'm going to go through those hearts here in a minute and put those down into 3 corners of my picture to make a 3-point triangular design that also goes from the left to the bottom right. Now I'm taking the number 48 and I'm trying to make sure that this is going to fit where I want it to fit on the bottom left hand portion of my picture. I'm going through the heart embellishments or vellum, and I put the glue on a certain side so that the glue won't show through the vellum. And I'm just having that as a layered portion of each of the 3 corners. I finally adhere the flowers and the leaves and all of that, and the hearts. Some of them I do end up pulling back up and popping up again just for dimension and to have some visual interest. I'm putting hearts and pop dots to pop it up. I decide I'm going to put down the happy on the top left corner of my picture on the picture. So it's going to be happy 48. I put more vellum onto the left hand top of my picture, and then I'm going to use the bottom left hand corner of my picture as the third place for embellishments. I keep moving things around and I'm so grateful for repositionable tape. I decided to use that white heart because you're still going to be able to see it on the wood grain. And then I'm going to put some flower clusters there as well. But I also want to make sure that the 48 is going to be able to be seen with the embellishment there. What you see, what I just did was I erased a black mark, and I think it's from my nail polish. It was leaving some black marks all over the white paper, and so I kept going through and erasing those marks. I guess it's good to know that I probably shouldn't be wearing black nail polish while I'm working with white paper. Okay, so now I'm ready to put down the number 48. I'm using the Tombow Mono multi-adhesive, and I'm going to put it on the back of the numbers, 44 and 8. And I'm putting it so that the holes from the 8 show only the wood grain portion, but I wanted to touch some of the layers from the picture. Now the 4, I'm going to have the top of the 4 under one of the layers. So that it matches. Now you'll see that, or you can't see it too well here, but there's some paint parts that are sticking out. So I use my fingernail and I put them so that they go under the wood. Now I'm going to put the date on there, and I decide to use one of the labels, and I'm going to use the stays on ink because it's a slickery surface. I put that there and I check to see if the flower would work as another portion of that embellishment as well. Now that makes it, I did 4 areas of interest, and I guess I should have taken that flower from and the heart from number 48 out. Ugh, I hate it when I see that afterwards when I'm doing the voiceover. Anyway, I get a vellum heart. I put down the label with the date, and then I'm going to put that flower down, and I'm going to use a pop dot to pop it up and cut out the bottom portion of that flower. And then I decide, okay, that's it. This is my layout for my 48th birthday. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. I will see you next time.